Hello and welcome back to Tales from the Age of Men. And indeed, think about it. Think about it. We haven't really, yeah, we've seen quite a few men, haven't we? You know, we've seen Rohan, of course, and we've seen Gondor, but we haven't seen those elusive men of Dale. And, well, obviously, we also have a bunch of dwarves from Erebor. They're obviously helping them out. And they will be here. As you can see, they are in the garrison itself. And this is going to be a little bit tricky because, well, you can see from the amount of food they have, it's actually insane the amount of food they have, that, well, we won't be able to starve them out, which is obviously fine. I don't really have a problem with, you know, starving or not starving. It very much depends on our strategy once we get inside the siege itself. That's usually what is going to determine whether we're going to survive or whether we're going to prevail in our little encounter with whoever we're facing, because it's always going to be, it's always basically, it needs us to stay alive. That's, in my opinion, the big, you know, crux of the matter. It really needs to make sure that we stay alive, because then we can continue to provide our bonuses. That's obviously very, very useful. All these captain perks right here, I'm not sure if they do, but I don't think they continue actually providing these bonuses if you're eliminated. So obviously that's a bit of a problem, but also the main issue is that our forces are just going to do whatever. They're just going to do auto-delegate, and they're just going to be annoying and not really know what to do, and going to run around basically just getting themselves killed. So I'm kind of hopeful that I will be able to survive here, but I don't know how good. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm going to look at them after this. I just wanted to get straight into the action, because what we're going to do, I'm just going to hide behind my warg for the moment, because here's the thing. Obviously, the enemy, of course, I can't run anywhere. Oh, no, there's no cover anywhere, and I have no shield. Yeah. Well, anyway, the point is, we're going to take a look at their stats after this, see what kind of monsters we're dealing with, because they might actually be really dangerous, you know? They might be really, really good. So I'm actually just going to tell these guys to hold position over there. We're going to try to push forward like we do. Going to try to see if we can maybe make something work there. I should probably put my people into a square formation as well. That's probably going to make a bit of sense. Oh, it's actually working. It's actually working exceedingly well. And here we go. We're in with the dwarves. And these guys are actually quite dangerous because they have such heavy armor, as you might expect from dwarves, obviously. And yeah, I actually recently saw a clip of a TV show or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really kept up with a lot of Lord of the Rings media, I have to say. So I haven't seen things like, you know, The Rings of Power or something like that, the Amazon show. I don't know, I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen a lot of the other extracurricular stuff. I have seen, obviously, the original trilogy, the Peter Jackson one, obviously. I mean, but yeah, very long ago I've seen that as well, so, you know, just bear that in mind. But, of course, apart from that, I have been very much embroiled in mods over the years. I've very much enjoyed a bunch of total conversions, for Warband and things like that, and now that we're getting a taste of Lord of the Rings in Bannerlord, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. But my main point when referencing the Rings of Power and or the other TV show clip that I saw, I didn't even know what it was from, but it seemed very cool because basically it was all about dwarves and elves fighting against each other. I have no idea when that would have happened, but you know. Basically it did, according to the clip at least. And, oh no, we got ourselves killed. How did I die? Did I get killed by, I got killed by a spearman or something like that. We're getting absolutely rinsed here, by the way. Have you noticed? Wow. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to get out of there. There is no way I am going to be able to do anything in this siege. I have to admit, I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything. So what I'm actually going to try is we're going to continue the siege, just so that we can continue to keep the catapults down. But what I'm going to need to do is I will need to very specifically call for an army. That's what we're going to need to do, and we're actually going to have to get someone to come over here and help us out, because we cannot make these guys budge. We literally killed how many of them? I mean, we killed a handful. Oh, they do. Oh, some of them are actually... what? The garrison is starving now for some reason? Oh, it's because the settlement... Ah, okay. So, basically, as you can see right here, sometimes... See, now, this is the funny thing. Sometimes this happens, and sometimes it doesn't happen. I don't know why that is. Bannerlord is a little bit finicky, a little bit weird. It has its quirks when it comes to the starvation mechanic. Sometimes you'll see, 120 days up here, like we do right now, and then you'll look at, the market food stocks, and you'll look at the settlement food stocks, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. If only the settlement food stocks would indicate when the garrison's going to, become starved and, actually, begin getting knocked unconscious. But now here's the thing. Look at what we have here. The market food is at 9,000, over 9,000, and they are now starving. Which is really weird, because sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes the garrison is just going to be immune to starvation mechanic, even if they have no settlement food stock remaining. So I think there is, I'm not sure if there's like a weird requirement or prerequisite for that kind of thing to kick in, something like that. I actually have no idea. You can see here, though, oh, no, never mind. They're actually getting back on their feet, because apparently the settlement food, as you can see, the settlement food has gone up by 2 for some reason. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Oh, I know why. Okay, so I have the solution. Yes. What is happening here is when the garrison is getting knocked unconscious, there are less people to feed. And so then the town's natural food increments, the natural increasing of its food supply, is then going to be able to handle the amount of troops. But when there are more troops, it cannot handle it. And so those people that get back on their feet, they knock themselves out. That's basically how things are going right now. So in other words, as you can see, look, they're going back down again. But then as soon as that happens, you'll see what happens here. The settlement food stock will go back up. I'm almost 100% certain that it will go back up once these guys have been eliminated a little bit. Yep, there it is. Okay, yeah, look, they're actually recovering themselves right now. That is extremely interesting to me. But I have to admit, I don't know why this would all of a sudden be happening, because there are many times in the past where I've done the starvation mechanic. Trust me, I've done a lot of the starvation mechanic, especially in more difficult sieges, and it's kind of weird, because sometimes this happens and sometimes this doesn't happen. Sometimes they 100% get starved out, other times they don't, and yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. Anyway, what I'm going to do is we're going to destroy this catapult right here, going to leave the siege really fast, go into our armies tab, get this, and then we're going to be getting some people to come and join us. As you can see, they've finally gotten some more people to join their clans. I'm actually not entirely sure. How did that even happen? How did they not even have any people joining them right there? This is kind of weird. Okay, so let's get Wolgan to come and join us. We're just going to get one of them. I think we only need 1,200, right? We're only going to need 1,200 or something like that. And then we're just going to immediately go in to Dale once again. I'm actually wondering, are we going to be attacked by any vassals? That's the question. Are we going to be attacked by any vassals? Because it feels to me like we're actually kind of, I don't know, we haven't really seen any vassals, specifically from the elves, as well as from the dwarves and men of Dale. Very surprising. I would have expected them to be right on top of us right now, because obviously we are in their heartland, basically. But yeah. So, a little bit weird that we haven't seen anything like that. But yeah, obviously the enemy is going to now continually rebuild their catapults, which is going to be very annoying. But, that's fine. We're going to get back on top of that. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason why I mentioned that whole dwarf versus elf thing is because I saw this clip, obviously. I'm just harking back to that now. Yeah, ADHD things or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, point is, the dwarves completely destroyed the elves in combat, and it was actually kind of crazy. I think it was elves defending against the dwarves, and the dwarves were coming in with all kinds of contraptions and stuff like that. I don't know, I can't remember generally what it was all about, but most of the time I was just thinking to myself, wow, these dwarves, they've got some really innovative inventions, because they were shooting these ballistas that had like this propeller kind of invention or something. I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure someone has seen this TV show and will be able to say in the comments what it was. It's probably Rings of Power, all things considered, right? It probably is that. I don't know. I haven't seen any of it, so I have no clue, but I would assume that it is something along those lines. As you can see, though, look at this, look at this. They're actually starting to get very, very knocked out, which is really, really nice. I'm actually surprised that they didn't take any time to get people in there before we were able to go back in. I could technically go into the siege right now. Okay, shall we try? We have a pretty big advantage. Okay, so I took a chance here, and they've gone down to 87. So I'm actually going to go straight on in now. I'm not going to give them any opportunity to recover. And I gotta say, I'm actually really, really pleased that we finally have an engineer companion, because obviously it's been a while since we've started the campaign, and I haven't seen one of them yet. You know, obviously up until the previous episode when we finally managed to get one. I think it was it previous episode or the episode before that, something like that? I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually really, really impressed with the dwarves. I think the dwarves are going to be insanely difficult for pretty much any faction to deal with. I think, you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. I feel like the elves are, I feel like they're kind of hard mode. Is it just me? I feel like they're kind of hard mode. Like, if you play as them and you have to deal with the wages, and you have to deal with the party size and all that stuff, and the fact that a lot of the opposing factions that you might be fighting, I mean, obviously, let's face it, you're probably not going to be fighting against dwarves, because they're probably going to be on your side most of the time, even though, you know, canonically, elves and dwarves don't really get along. But what I'm saying is, generally, you're going to be having a perfectly fine time, and the dwarves are going to be on your side. But on the other hand, you're thinking about the Aurochs, and think about how many... Oh no, these guys have big two-handed hammers. This is very dangerous for me. Okay, we're going to get stomped right here. Maybe. Oh yeah. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, yep. I knew it. Wow. Okay, that's some pretty impressive damage right there. And obviously they're using hammers, which means that they have extremely high penetration values. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I don't really want to get penetrated by a dwarf, because, I mean, to be fair, they are very, very innovative, so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's actually kind of fun. Who knows? But the fact is... Oh, no! Oh, okay, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I am running. See ya. Bye. Okay. Funnily enough, these guys would probably be faster than I am. Maybe. I don't know. Dwarves are pretty fast, from what I recall. But, yeah, I'm going to have to... Oh, we've actually opened up the middle gates. That's pretty nice. How are we doing so far in terms of casualties? Well, we're actually not doing too badly. I mean, we are doing pretty badly, all things considered. I mean, we are supposed to be... Technically, we are supposed to be out-gearing or out-skilling them, but obviously, as I said before, I haven't taken a look at the stats yet. Whoa, that Iron Hills recruit actually almost killed me. Did you see that? He actually almost had the speed to be able to finish us off. That would have been uncomfortable. Imagine how embarrassing that must be, you know? You're literally one of the more legendary... I'm not calling myself more legendary, but I'm just talking about, you know, general things. You know, imagine a hero of the land, and you're, you know, running around, you're slaughtering left, right, and center every enemy that you could see, and then all of a sudden, a recruit, a peasant from the furthest village, is able to eliminate you, and then you just go, oh, well, that's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's always very funny when that happens. Anyway, yeah, I am definitely going to be looking forward to using a bow in a future series. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to do, because we, of course, don't have the opportunity to use any kind of range right now. I mean, that's the funny thing. Isengard does technically have range capability. I mean, obviously, Uruks, they do have... You know, they do have bows, and I believe they have crossbows as well. I think some of them do. And I don't know. I just didn't feel like it with this character. I felt like you know, going for like a high movement speed character, and that's always, in my opinion, I feel like that's the most fun for a two-handed kind of berserker-ish type, because it does provide you with that additional mobility and, shall we say, speed bonus whenever dealing damage. I mean, obviously, I'm using an elven weapon right now, which obviously is definitely making a difference in regards to how much damage we're able to do, considering there's so much damage on these things. They have a lot of high base value, right? High base value damage on the elven weapons. Now, I'm going to suggest something here, and I don't know how easy this is to change or whatever, but I'm going to suggest something, a little bit of feedback for the mod itself. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, by the way, because it could very dramatically make dwarves extremely overpowered, which may not be a good idea. But I'm going to suggest, or shall we say not suggest it, but I'm going to remark upon it, because I don't know whether it's that good from a balancing standpoint. So my idea is this. You see these guys with the two-handed hammers, two-handed hammers, and the dwarves using them. I don't know whether they have crush through block. I'm not sure if the hammers have crush through block, but if they do have crush through block, then ignore me, because that's obviously what I was going to suggest. I feel like these two-handed hammers should have crush through block, or at least have the trait, you know, attached to the weapon. Because from my perspective, these hammers are massive, and they're being swung by, you know, these really, really strong dwarves. I feel like they should have crushed through block in that sense. So maybe that's an idea. Obviously, the fact is, it is potentially game breaking. Maybe, you know, because it very much depends on how. I mean, obviously, how many of these guys are you actually going to be fighting? I don't know. I mean, that's the point. Is it these guys, the noble warriors? Is it Yes, I think it's the noble warriors that have the hammers. And as you can see, they're the ones to literally be carrying the entire defense there. They were able to kill 73 of our forces, and that is probably purely because of their two-handed hammers, making a big, big difference. Did I say two-handed axes again? I actually don't know whether I did. No, not just now, but beforehand. Oh, well, never mind. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's just take this guy. Obviously, this fellow is a man of Dale. He's not really skinned or anything like that right now. You know, not really, like, customized or anything. So we don't have to worry about that. Let's just take all of these to sell, because we are, of course, at... here we go. We actually get an opportunity to look at it. Okay, so does it have crush through blocks? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have crush through blocks. Okay, so it does not have crush through blocks, but it does have bonus against shields, and it can knock down. Yeah, so this, in my opinion, as I said before, I personally believe that I think maybe it would be an idea to add crush through blocks, but don't obviously do that if it's going to be overpowered, right? I don't know whether it would be, but I mean, if it's already got bonus against shields and it can knock down, and it also then has crush through blocks, if it can actually even be added to this. I mean, it's already got a huge amount of different traits, so I don't know whether it can be, but I'm just saying, would that make them too overpowered? I guess that's the question. I don't know. Because obviously, if that was the case, I mean, look at it. I mean, should I even use this? Should I try using this? It's a two-handed. Why not? You know, let's actually use it. Let's actually use it for fun, right? Let's use it for fun. So let's have a look. We'll use that instead of the axe. And we'll try it out, and we'll see what happens, because maybe it's going to be super, super fun, right? Maybe it's going to be super fun, and we'll see what's going on with it. I have a good amount of food. Well, obviously, I can go into the marketplace and very, very easily do that. 27,000 experience is not really that much, so I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to show mercy here. Apparently, someone doesn't really like that, maybe? I'm actually not entirely sure. Oh, no, it seems okay. And technically, I can now execute. Oh, who do we have here? We have a steward and a trader, and she's a Mordor. She's a Mordor companion. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. Well, what we're going to do is we're just going to do this, and then swap this guy back over, and there we go. That was easy, wasn't it? You know, that's what I should have done beforehand in the previous episode, instead of just doing that whole swapperoo thing. Very annoying for me to do that way. Anyway, we got a bunch of cheese. Who knew that Isengard Uruks liked cheese and butter? Yes, well, I think they like man flesh a lot more, but, you know, don't we all, eh? Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna get Look at that. 999. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so we're going to get 999 food. And then we're just going to slap a little bit of money in here. And we're going to go over to Erebor itself now, okay? So Erebor itself, that's going to be maybe kind of interesting. Obviously, we still are, we're still kind of waiting for Wolgan to join us. I'm not entirely sure if it's even necessary for him to do that. But one thing we do want to do is we want to take a look at the Noble Warriors. So the Noble Warriors themselves... Are you serious? These guys? These guys? Just random tier 5s? Random tier 5s were able to do that much damage. Really? That actually just screams. That screams absolute... Wow, these guys are actually really, really good. We weren't even fighting against anything super, super powerful here. I mean, yeah, these guys, they go up in small increments. So basically, already, when you are fighting against Noble Warriors, you're already fighting against people that are actually really, really good. Because you can see here, their two-handed skill goes up by 30, goes up by 10, goes up by 5, and then goes up by 15. So overall, it goes up by 60, going from tier 5 all the way to tier 9. And they don't actually get that much of a skill benefit, but I'm assuming that their armor is going to get upgraded dramatically, because you take a look at their armor here. Obviously, you saw how much damage we were able to do against the Noble Warriors. We were able to, pretty easily. I mean, let's face it, we were able to kill them pretty fast. One-shot kills most of the time, right? But now if you take a look at this, oh no, actually, he's got relatively similar armor. Yeah, he's got relatively similar armor, and he is using Dane's axe. Okay, so that's a completely different weapon as well. Okay, so I need to take a look at Dane's axe. I can't see its traits, unfortunately. So the only thing I could really do is search for it in maybe Erebor itself, or we could go into... I mean, I guess I could look through the cheat menu and look through, you know, the various things there. That could be a potential for us to take a look at it, but let's leave it for now, and we'll go into Erebor in just a second. Now, I am going to... What's the point of me leveling up medicine? There isn't much point, right? Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's much point in that. I could go for one-handed or polearms. I guess I'll just go for some polearms, I guess. I mean, what else can I do? We'll go for some cunning as well. I don't think I'm ever going to get to 7 cunning, but it's always nice to go towards it, at least a little bit. Yeah, so I highly doubt Dale is going to get taken or even besieged at this moment in time. And, ooh, they've got 500 people here. Okay, only 500 people. This should be... relatively... Oh, they only have 8 days worth of food. That is very strange. Okay, so these fellows over there... Oh, I can't actually turn the camera right now because of the mountain. But yeah, those fellows at Dale, they have literally, what, 9,000 pieces of food or whatever. And in Erebor, they only have 7 days worth, which is literally, as you can see, only about 300. That's actually kind of crazy if you think about it. Okay, so the owner of Dale, we're going to be just giving that to, I guess we'll just give that to Faldor or whoever. Yeah, I don't know. They've each got so many fiefs. They've each got like 7 fiefs each or something like that. So technically what I should be doing is looking for an additional companion and then creating another vassal. And that's what I really should go for. But I haven't really found any suitable candidates, to be honest. And no offense, but I'm not sure... I mean, it would be good if we gained Mordor vassals, or should we say Mordor companions to create into vassals, because they would obviously look a lot cooler, in my opinion. I mean, a lot more in keeping with our current character. So that would be fun. But, well, I guess we'll see what happens once we go in here. I'm kind of hoping for a unique siege, but I don't think so. I don't think that I don't think they've done that yet, which is obviously fine. I don't have, as I said before, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I just really want to see how we are going to do against some more of these guys. And do they have some Danes champions in here or something like that? They don't. Okay, so that means that we might have... Oh, wait, maybe this guy? He doesn't appear to. Let me actually just have a look. No, but there are Danes Reavers. Danes Reavers? Aha. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, these guys are actually extremely powerful. Funnily enough... Okay, wait a minute. I've got a question right here. Why do these guys have 370 in one-handed and 280 in two-handed when they're using a two-handed axe. I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on with that. Maybe it's just for balancing reasons or something like that. I would assume it's for balancing reasons. I mean, unless I don't know, unless the modding team wants to actually have them with 370, and it was just a mistake or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, we got Doran's hammers here as well. These guys have 370 in one-handed as well, 260 in two-handed, but they're using two-handed. So I'm going to assume that maybe they need to be swapped around. I don't know, but we also have. Wait a minute. What do we got here? These guys have 360 in crossbows. This is going to absolutely destroy. I feel like this will absolutely destroy. It doesn't do that much damage. The crossbow itself only has 67 piercing damage, but the heavy bolts themselves have 8 piercing damage, which is pretty significant in itself. And you can see here that their stats are actually incredible. They have 360 in crossbows. They have pretty good armor as well. Actually, surprisingly enough, I think they have better armor than the noble warriors that we looked at earlier. Yeah, these guys, as you can see, they have 360 in two-handed, which is good because they're using two-handed. Oh, this guy's using a mattock. Yeah, that's looking very nice. Whoa, that is looking super, super fun right there. So yeah, 360 in that. Okay, so, and these guys are the sword and shield kind of fellows, and they also have spears. So these fellows are the ones you want to go for if you are, I guess, primarily fighting against, I don't know, Rohan maybe? Or what are you going to be really fighting? I guess Rune. Rune actually would be the faction that you're going to be nearby to in this particular part of the world. And they're the ones that are, primarily going to, of course, use cavalry. Rune is well, a lot of them are cavalry, at least as far as I remember from previous total conversion experience. But anyway, oh, there we go. Our friend has finally joined us. That is great. Okay, Wolgan, you took a long time to get over here, sir. All right, yeah, well, this is going to be pretty nice. We're just going to put every single one of our trebuchets out there, and then we're going to be giving them hell. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. And wait. Are we actually going to be okay here? I mean, we're obviously going to be fine now that Wolgan is here. I mean, considering he's bringing so many troops. But what I wanted to know is, are they going to use that strategy that destroys all of our trebuchets really, really easily? It doesn't seem like it. All right, so we should be absolutely fine. And yeah, you know what? It makes me, it makes me want to create. This is the sign of a good total conversion, by the way. Even if this is unfinished and very much still a work in progress, I just want to remind you of that. We have a hankering for creating additional characters. Anytime a total conversion has that feeling for me, that is usually when I'm just like, yes, that is fun. That's the way to go. That's what I want to do. I want to try out all kinds of different things. I want to try out all kinds of different character builds with different factions and try out different scenarios. That's the fun part. That's definitely going to be very, very cool. All right, so I think we are pretty much done with the walls and indeed with the starvation mechanic. The question is, do we trust Wolgan to have good units? What does he have? He has 110 Orc Warg Rider Lieutenants. That is probably the most useless army to come with to do a siege. But, who am I to say, right? Who am I to say? I'm only running around with a measly 428. So there's that. But yeah, as you can see, we do have the garrison starving. Let's see if they actually do get starved. Are they actually getting starved? Because it feels to me like they're not. Are they? Yeah, no, they are. They are. But it's taking a long, long time. So I think we're just going to go straight on in once it goes to daytime. I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. Yeah, let's do it. And yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Oh, I should have probably saved, actually, before we headed in here, just because you never know. Sometimes, you can come across random things that just causes crashes. Yeah, no, as you can see, no unique map just yet, but that's okay. As I said, there are going to be... Oh, wait. Oh, what is... This is... Why is it so... It's so fast. This hammer is so... Okay, wait a minute. Is this my new favorite weapon? This hammer is so fast. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let me just revise my previous thoughts. I almost died. I almost got killed by my own trebuchet. Yeah, okay, so let me revise my thoughts from before when I said, oh yes, I think maybe the two-handed hammers could use crush through blocks. Yes, that was definitely premature, because me playing with this now, it is fast. It is a fast weapon, and it does high penetration value, because obviously it's doing blunt damage. And I don't think it needs crush through block. I mean, that's the thing. It makes sense, right? It makes sense for it to have crush through block from a sort of thematic perspective, because obviously it's a hammer, right? It's a hammer, so crushing through a person's block is kind of what it's supposed to do. But if I were to have that with such a fast swinging weapon, is that too strong? That's the question. Is that too strong? Maybe. Because look at what I'm able to do here. I can literally just go up to these guys. I hit him down. I hit him on the floor. Oh, unfortunately, I couldn't finish him off while he was on the floor, but there you go. But yeah, the fact is, I can go up to these guys, and I can immediately just go, yep, bonk, bonk, and they just do not know what to do. They just cannot do anything. Obviously, one of the downsides of the hammer is that it does have less reach than what you might expect, but that obviously hammers generally do have less reach, so you know, that's what's going to happen there. But yeah, as I said, I don't know, I feel like maybe if it does have crush through block, I think it might be too overpowered, but it is a fun thing to think about. I don't know, I'm not sure. As I say, I feel like, I mean, look at the swing speed of this thing. It feels very light to use. It feels like, look, it feels like this sword, right? I mean, this sword is slightly faster, I think, but the hammer feels really, really good. Feels really, really fun to use, and I'd highly recommend, if you're playing, you know, if you're playing alongside me, or you're playing, you know, dwarves or whatever, I mean, get yourself one of these hammers, because it's a load of fun to use. Yeah, obviously I'm not entirely sure if they're even going to be included in the marketplace. I didn't even look in the marketplace yet. I obviously need to complete the siege here, go into Erebor's marketplace and take a look around, see if we can maybe find some stuff that might be really, really enjoyable to use too. But yeah, I am actually really loving the fact that the various weapon types and the various things that you can use as the you know, factions included in the mod are so variable. You know, that's the fun part, you know, because you obviously have significant amounts of archetypal weapon variety. I'm talking about, you know, obviously because I was excited about the crossbowman, the dwarven crossbowman, because I mean, let's face it, I personally never think of dwarves as being ranged characters. I don't know why. I don't know. They are very good at innovating and, you know, things like that. So it should technically be kind of natural that they would have a sort of mechanical way of firing ranged attacks. And that's the reason, you know, you literally have a crossbow, you have a two-handed hammer, you've got two-handed axes, you have mattocks, you know, you have these really, really cool mattocks, and then obviously you have these extremely sturdy shields, and they're looking great. That's what I'm saying right here. Oh, these archers are just running into the meat grinder right now. This is not very good for them. But yeah, my forces should be completely fine here. I'm just going to tell them all to charge actually right now. I'm going to tell them to be very aggressive. I want them to be very aggressive here because we are going to just push the advantage. And you can see that we have completely and utterly destroyed the garrison here. There is not much that the opponent can even do. And, whoa, okay. Yeah, let me just actually see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, so we're absolutely fine. You can see here that they're kind of stuck inside. Yeah, kind of stuck on top there for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. They're just going to be done in a second. And then we'll take a look at the marketplace. And we'll see if we can maybe find a really nice weapon. Maybe some nice armor and stuff like that. I actually don't know. Are there dwarven... Are there dwarven companions? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I assume there are dwarven companions somewhere. Okay, so barely any barely any prisoners to take. And we didn't get particularly lucky here either, unfortunately, with the amount of loot. We did get some axes and stuff like that, but one-handed axes. So I'm not really going to be taking that, of course. So we can now show mercy, of course. We're going to lose some relation with one of our people, and we're just going to be putting some... Whoa, look at their loyalty. Their loyalty is absolutely crazy good. Look at that. That's absolutely amazing. Really, really love that. And then we can basically just do all of this. Just absolutely do every single thing that we can get our hands on here. And here we go. We have another person that we could potentially recruit. She is... I don't actually know where... I mean, she's obviously a human, right? But she's part of the Bardings culture, which is technically this. The culture is Bardings. I actually don't know. I should probably take a look at that, shouldn't I? Let's... Can I not? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I can't take a look at that particular culture. So what about kingdoms? So if I go to Dale here, you could see that this fellow, hilariously enough, he is an elf, but he's... Is he an elf? Yeah, he's an elf. And he's currently... I just wanted to make sure of that, because I thought, Lord of Lothlorien? I really? Yeah, but obviously, because we executed Galadriel, he's obviously taken over, which is quite funny. But... yeah, speaking of that, he actually only has 66 in Steward. That might very well be the case, how he's having such a, shall we say, low party size. That might be the reason there. But yeah, as you can see, we do have a bunch of different houses here. And indeed, House of the Dragon Slayer. We've got this guy. Yeah. Well, whatever the case... We will go into the marketplace now, and we will take a look, and we'll see what kinds of weaponry they have available. So you can see here, obviously they do have this, and yeah, they have the same attributes right here. So yeah, obviously you can knock down and all that stuff. That's all very, very, very nice. And we have a two-handed axe here as well. And you can see the swing speed. So you can take a look at the swing speed. It's 105. They have the same stats. They just look different as what I'm currently using. And I think... Oh, wait a minute. The hammer is actually faster than the Noldor two-handed sword. Obviously, I'm not entirely sure which kind of two-handed sword this is, whether this is an advanced version of it or whatever. I managed to just pick this up randomly. And yeah, so it is actually faster. But it does do slightly more damage, I guess. It does have more length as well. Obviously, the Noldor sword has more length. So that's very much going to make a big, big difference. And otherwise, apart from that, obviously, you can see the Númenórean two-handed swords. They are not very good at all, I have to admit. I would probably never use a Númenórean sword. Not because it's just not my thing, but it's literally so low damage. It's got such a low, base value of damage on its actual weapon that it's just not going to be that useful as a two-handed. You can see here, this one specifically only does 62 cutting damage. 62 cutting damage is not enough to be able to penetrate a lot of the armor that we're facing here, especially with cutting damage. I mean, look at this. This is an insane axe. Okay, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about here. This is an insane axe. This is kind of similar to the axe that we had beforehand. That was the Isengard axe or the Mordor axe, and it was 66 swing speed. That is incredibly slow, and you are going to feel it. It is going to be way too slow, in my opinion, to be able to be used in any kind of like formal warfare. I mean, I'm just mostly talking about close quarters combat, mortal combat, 1 versus 1s, 2 versus manys, so, 1 versus manys even. And that kind of thing is going to really make a big difference to you. Whereas, now, okay, I'm going to say it now. I think if a weapon is this slow, right, 66 swing speed, I think this kind of weapon should have crushed through blocks. That is the thing that should have crushed through blocks. The other things, maybe not so much, because obviously their swing speed is really, really fast and quick. So that probably not a particularly good idea to make, crush through blocks or anything. But yeah, anyway, there you have it. So we've had a little bit of a foray into the Dwarven territories, and you can see here that we are now right up against the actual wow, yeah, all the way over there. I have no idea what that is even actually, but yeah, we also have what do we have over here? Did they already eliminate No, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, no, I was wondering if they already eliminated Rune, or if Rune is even here. Because a Rune, as far as I'm aware, is supposed to be over here. So is it here? Yeah, it's supposed to be over here. There they are. There they are. Yeah, so Rune is there. And very far. Once again, like I said, it's a large map, right? It's a large map, and that's the reason why I suggested, you know, some movement speed increases and stuff like that. I think they're already working on that. I think they've already implemented something along those lines. Maybe. I actually don't know. But yeah. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.